Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another rant video, and this is going to have to deal with Joe Rogan, who happens to be a podcaster, who's very popular, who is also known to be from the Western society of America and culture, and who gives his political views and opinions about certain stuff that's going on in the world, and does tend to not censor anything that he's saying, which is why I'm also going to bring up cancel culture. So, I don't know, I doubt this is new, but like, I personally, I believe people do have the right to freedom of speech, regardless whether it is negative, whether people do use cuss words, if they go out of their way to bash the person, only if they deserve it. But I don't believe in threats. But the problem is we live in a society where cancel culture does exist, where people out of nowhere, they don't even know the person, they claim they're a bad person, they make assumptions about their life. That's the problem with cancel culture, is that because people take things way too seriously just based on what you say, because they think you're that serious, when it's really just you sharing your feelings about how you think of the world. Or I can understand it could lead misinformation. From what I understand, that there was another big, people would think there was a big chance that he would possibly get canceled because he was leading misinformation of COVID. So I assume for people who are 18, I'm assuming it's people that are under 18 can't get the vaccination because it could lead to something dangerous. Although what he's saying could be a dangerous idea, because it's also to prevent especially the youth, from being infected by COVID or any other disease. But honestly, like I said, this man has money. He's very popular. Even though I don't know him personally, I don't really subscribe to his channel. Like, if you think he's going to be canceled, the only way he will be canceled if he gets caught up in something heinous, in some serious allegations, crimes that he may have committed in the past, and it's being proven, and it's being screenshotted, it's being videotaped online. But dude, I don't want to talk too much about this dude. I personally just want to go against the people that I just want to talk. I want to go out against my way to call out the people who are supporting cancel culture. The reason why people are even part of cancel culture is because they are miserable. Their lives, have nothing better to do. They feel good by trying to ruin other people's lives because they see some type of satisfaction out of it. If their life sucks, they're going to make somebody else's life sucks. And they don't have the possible capabilities as that person. They cannot match up to their charisma, to their status, to their strengths, like I said, their capabilities. These are simply people and also who are in it to get clout as well, possibly, so that people can recognize it, and then that people, when they look up to them, they get the viewership, they get the money. But I don't know how they're even make the money unless they have something. If they already plotted and how to build their content, their social media. So that takes a lot of time, because the reason why cancel culture is one of the worst type of things, a lot of times it is unnecessary. For people will look for the slightest evidence, the slightest mistake, the slightest mishap, or the slighter trouble that you cause, just to ruin your career. And I don't believe some people deserve it. Because yeah, people do get into fights, they get into arguments, but it depends how serious the situation is. If the person happens to be like a threat, if they are a problem, and they're putting other people's lives at risk, then I can understand them getting their own content canceled, them being removed from any social media platform. Then it is justified, but not because you simply dislike the person, or you have some type of uh, like you have some type of hostility towards the person, and you resent them towards them to the point that you want to go all out, you want to ruin their life and just keep harassing them, you want to keep tailgating them. Honestly, you want to keep going stoop as low as be behind them, but you're beneath them. And if anything, you're trying to go behind their back and try to dig up some evidence. You're trying to dig up some dirt on them so you can remove them. Like, that's where what I find is, if anything, I don't respect those kind of people. That's the type of thing you call petty. These are simply petty people who have nothing better to do. Like, if anything, like, it's not necessary. Again, it's gonna get you looked at as the problem, because if anything, if you're just because you don't like someone does not mean you have to try to try to find is look for any possibilities or any sort of evidence that could ruin them, especially if they had done nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong, because that means that this is a habit that you have. It's simply a habit that you're going to develop, and you're going to keep doing this, whether you're famous or not, because you're simply trying to go out of your way to harass people, to give wrong, misleading information. And for example, there are people that are like that on social media. A lot of people are talking about Fresh and Fit. That's a prime example. But then again, like, although whether Joe Rogan has said things that were misleading, whether he's talking about ignorant things, because, yeah, it may be ignorant, because oh, I definitely don't agree with him saying that video games causes people, kids, the youth to become violent, when it really has to do with the environment. You can be influenced at that age, but it's also the environment you're living in. And some kids look at that as an opportunity to become that person, to become a criminal, because they feel like their life is already miserable. They feel like they have nothing much to do in their life. They don't have the income. They don't have the responsibility. It's always the adults that have to look after them. They feel like when they get older, they feel they have to do something fast before things become dire for them later in life. So what I mean dire, as if things slowly start to get worse for them. Like, they have nothing to live for. They feel like their lives is going to be short. So they want to build something out of it. They want to make their life interesting. They want to live a life where they feel they're in control. They can do whatever they want as when they reach their adolescence. And then they want to try to figure out something first before they start doing it. It's just like cancel culture. They're trying to figure something out before they try to get that person canceled, before they make up some argument to try and get rid of the person for good. Like, what is getting rid of them going to do? And eventually, even if you were to get rid of them, obviously they're gonna try to get rid of you. Because they're gonna try to dig up some information on the person that exposed Joe Rogan. And personally, people do say stupid shit on podcasts. I hear a lot of cussing, like, so what? People do say negative things behind behind the podcast, behind the radio, behind commentary, and they're not there in person. They might not say this in front of another person, but it's the fact that they're sharing their views, their opinions, that's all that matters. But it's the fact that some people just don't get it. And they think you don't have the right to say anything as long as it's not threatened, as long as it's non-life threatening. They feel just because you say something negative that all of a sudden you should be harassed, that you should be dealt with by law enforcement, or should be dealt with in a horrific state, on a horrific matter, that something bad should come to you, even though it's not even really a big deal. The problem is they escalate it when it shouldn't escalate to the point where, because you don't like what another person has to say. It's simple. Just mute the audio. Don't watch their videos. That's all it comes to. But people just refuse to use their brain. And this is what I keep talking about. Why do people get so offended what other people say when they can literally just pause the video, stop the video, and find some other content? They don't try to switch up the videos. They don't try to find something else to watch besides constantly watch several videos of the person that they don't like, that they detest, and then you continue to argue, continue to make stupid points as if they're any valid, stupid arguments, stupid excuses, petty insults, whining, complaining, and it's not doing any good. It just shows that you yourself is a weasel and a rat. It all has to do with the fact that you don't like the person, and just get over it. And again, cancel culture should be canceled. I personally don't believe it should not exist. And again, to be honest with you guys, I don't think Joe Rogan really cares, because I'm sure he's just gonna call out people who've been harassing him. He's gonna address it. He's gonna try to give people He's willing to let everyone share their views from all backgrounds, and you should at least respect him for that. Again, respect him for that. But then people will still continue to go off on people like him, whether it's him or others that they don't like. It's the fact that they have they have resent other people, and they have nothing better to do with their lives. And again, cancel culture is a waste. Like, man, I don't remember a time if it's ever succeeded. I could say the only time it's ever succeeded, because people were able to dig up dirt, and you find that it's actually true about that person, and they have nothing to hide later, and they've admitted, and there have been several complaints about that person, and then there's been a lot of patterns that revolves around the way the person's acting, and how they've been reacting, and plus the complaints on top of it, and the number of people who come towards other supporters that are willing to defend those people because they have some sort of situation where they deal with this kind of like where they deal with these kind of allegations. And again, whether someone deserves to be canceled, it should be cancel culture. And also, if I and I on to be real, other people, the only people that really deserve to be canceled are the people who are definitely very dangerous throughout platforms, who are very toxic, who are putting people's life uneasy. They're making your lives become uneasy, like I said. And again, that show no remorse for what they're doing, and possibly like capable of committing certain crimes, on top of being a bad influence. And again, cancel culture should not exist. And again, people should be able to live their lives and then provide for the community, as well as there are people who will support them because they enjoy their content. And again, I only would rather dispose the garbage only if it's been let out. Again, cancel culture should not exist, and let the people be willing to be able to use freedom of speech on top of people being less offensive and less offended. And again, hope you guys enjoy the video. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.